I'm Freddie Mercury and I'm the lead vocalist of Queen.
I am Brian May and I play guitar for a group called Queen.
My name is John Richard Deacon. I was born on August the 19th, 1951.
I'm Roger Taylor and I'm the drummer and one of the singers of Queen.
Enthusiasm took over when I was about 13 or 14 with the Beatles.
Then there was kind of a revolution in England, and English people began to play rock music as such, and in fact sort of led the way for a while. You know, there was, for instance, the Cream, and Jimi Hendrix is not exactly English, but kind of an English phenomenon because he was embracing England first. And through listening to those people, I got more keen on some of their influences, like B.B. King, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, those early, quite primitive guitar players, but very influential on everybody today, I'm sure.
And I took piano lessons when I was in boarding school, and of course I didn't think at the time that I was going to make music my career, but I was always interested in music. I think I obviously had a musical streak, so I used to sing along, and I was in a choir.
I played in a couple of groups, but only amateur groups. One was called 1984, strangely enough. One was called Smile.
And Smile was the band which Brian and I formed with one other person. There were just three of us.
I remember there was a time we actually we were sharing flats together and so living in while we were in different bands. And one day they wanted their singer decided to leave, and they were auditioning singers and this and that. And I was right under their nose. It was so funny. It never actually occurred to them to ask me.
And it was when Smile broke up, and Brian and I decided we liked working together, and we wanted to form a new band called Queen, which we did with Freddie.
Well, I built my own guitar, and it has a particular sound. I worked on it with my father for about 2 years when I was about 18. And it's different from anything else. It just has a different sound, and it has a wide range of sound. And I knew what sound I wanted. I was just lucky to be able to find it, really. I knew that I wanted it to be thick and warm, but with some sort of edge to it, and to be able to sustain and sing.
Roger and I were ripping people off before. Just with all sort of antique clothes and things, just to make enough money to eat at that time. And before we actually had a contract, and then and in those days we hadn't really made up our minds that we were going to make it a commitment, because Brian still wanted to do his BSc and things, and you can't really be successful in this game if you have other ties. You have to just give up everything. You really have to.
So it was Freddie, myself, and Roger, and we advertised for a bass player.
I actually gave up playing music the first year. I was at college, and then in the second year I was really missing it, so I got my equipment down to London. I played with one group at my college, and then I heard about this group called Queen who were looking for a bass player.
Because I'm such a forceful character, they were in Smile, and I said, well, I can't join you and become... it's just like the way I feel is that when somebody new takes somebody's place, it's just everything's got to be new. And so this was a completely new chemical reaction, and it had to have a new meaning and a new title and everything, so that we felt fresh. I actually hated it, but it was just an outrageous thing at the time, in the days of so-called, it was called glam rock or whatever, And in those days, they started painting their faces and everything. It was the David Bowie time, the Roxy music. In a way, it's sort of happening again. It was just a phase that people were going through, and I think the name Queen actually fitted that time.
And our real lucky break was really doing some test sessions at a new recording studio being built. And we went in there, it was 16-track, and we recorded a few songs. And it was from those demos that we eventually got our first record deal.
It was very difficult in the beginning because technically you can't do that without a lot of money. You have your amplifiers on stage, and in order for the vocal harmonies to be on top of all that noise, you have to have a big PA, which obviously we didn't have. So we used to borrow things and steal things.
Yeah, Killer Queen was like the first thing that broke ground worldwide, as it were. I think in England and in Britain, I think Seven Seas of Rye is a track that that's the track that actually broke us in England, but I don't think it did anything anywhere else. But Killer Queen paved the way.
Rhapsody particularly was Freddie's baby, you know.
With Bohemian Rhapsody was basically I was writing 3 songs, and they were meant to be different, and I just couldn't finish them, and I just thought, oh, damn it, I just put the 3 together. That's when the so-called volcano erupted, you know, it was just suddenly, just went bang. You know. It was one of the first videos that actually got the attention, the type of attention that videos are getting now that needs to sell records.
We wanted to be heavy and forceful and full of energy, and at the same time we wanted to have good songs, and well, we felt we had good songs, you know, and we wanted to combine the forcefulness of something like the early Led Zeppelin with the melody and harmony of somebody else. I don't know who exactly.
We write ballads, we write heavy stuff, so sometimes we were even compared to Led Zeppelin or Deep Purple or Yes.
AC/DC or whatever, or, you know, just, it's not just one style, lots of styles of music.
I wanted to write a song that everybody could sing along, like a football chant or things like that, and at the same time I thought it'd be nice to, it's a winning song, you know, and it's meant for everybody, you know. But I had to say we are the champions, but that doesn't mean it's us. It's for. I can just imagine people going to a game, and if they, you know, if their team wins, they can go, we are the champions. It's a winning song for everybody.
It's very important to give everybody an outlet for their writing, their creative powers, because that's what splits most groups up.
It's like a chariot with 4 horses, you know, going on like that.
Who's the man?
And that's a good one. Every now and again, I think we have to individually take different roles at holding rank. We were becoming blasé. You know, after you have a success for a long time, whatever, it's quite easy to just say, oh yeah, you're the greatest, or whatever. But I really don't think we're that kind of group. We like to. Sometimes we make our own. We make our own challenges.
We do argue a lot over musical policy of what type of music to do and how much to tour, where to tour, and that sort of thing. But normally we've managed to come to some sort of agreement.
We're sort of in danger of breaking up, really, through lack of work, you know, through not working together. And you tend to drift apart. Everybody goes to a different place and you drift apart.
Well, I mean, I have to get to the piano eventually, but I mean, there isn't a sort of, you know, I don't say, okay, I give it 1 hour every day or something. It's, you know, sometimes when I'm not thinking about it, that's when it happens best. I mean, I know there's a story about crazy little thing called love. I mean, I was having a bath and I just suddenly had an idea, and I called up Paul and I said, just get me a guitar, you know, so, just an acoustic. And there I was in the bath, and because I was restricted in the bath, I could only play 3 chords. I can still only play 3 chords, and so I was limited, and out came Crazy Little Thing.
Yeah, the writing helps me a lot. And if I'm not writing, I think there's something wrong with my life at the time.
And I remember when it was out in America, all people went up. A lot of people that, of course, hadn't heard of it were buying it, thinking that we were a black act. And then would come to see us, our shows, and they realized we were all white.
They didn't go away, huh?
No, well, they waited through the whole, because we used to play that as an encore, and there were all these blacks in the audience sitting, going, "My God, these whites are playing this rock crap." Well, number one, I don't dream about David Bowie at all. It's just, and to actually dream about making a song with him is beyond my capabilities. It was just, just that we were friends, and sometimes when different artists come together at the right time, and if the characters are right, that's more important than anything.
I don't know what to say about it, really. It was a sort of experimental thing for me to see if I could make a record on my own. And I think listening to it now, which I hadn't done for quite a while, some of it I quite like. Some of it was too experimental and didn't work.
I always was going to do a solo album, and everybody thought I was going to do that a long time ago. And I just needed the time and the place, you know, and I needed, I just didn't want to just do it. I needed to think about it a little, I really did. And having the 2-year break or whatever, I mean, that made me think, and I thought, the time has come, you know, I'm 38 years old, and I thought I'd better do it before I pass out. And
when do you expect that to happen?
You mean peg out? Not for a while. Not for a while.
It's great fun. It wasn't really like making an album, it was just like having fun for a couple of days. And we did it in a studio so that we could keep what we did. And it wasn't with the intention of putting out a record at all, it was just to have that experience. And it was a great experience. And even if there had been no record or anything, I would still remember it as one of the best experiences I ever had. It was great.
Do you have hobbies?
I am not... Yeah, a lot of sex. Try and get out of that one. For about 2 years, we didn't come up with anything. We didn't tour and whatever, and I think that was a good thing. We sort of went away from each other. And then when we came back, it was like coming back together again from the start. So we started fighting about all the things we used to fight about 5 or 10 years ago. And so off we go again.
I wanted to write a song with that sort of rhythm and that tempo and that sort of feel. But I think it was my little boy just happened to mention Radio Kaka, I think, and which turned into Radio Gaga one day. And I just liked the lyrics, so that's how it came about, really.
It came to the video. I mean, like when we make videos, often it is the writer who gets mainly involved, and said, "Oh, well, we've got to make a video for Break Free." So I said, "I've got no ideas at all, right?" So actually, in fact, I think it was Roger who had the idea about dressing up in drag, and then with David Mallet, and then Freddie got involved, and then the idea came of, you know, the Hoover and all that sort of thing, and then sort of the very old setting, and it just sort of blossomed from there.